Hey guys, Tara Ryan here, and today's tip from Tara is appraisal gap strategies. So you guys know, even as things are starting to slow a little bit, it's still a super hot market, and if there's 10 offers on a property, the top 3 have probably waived the financing and the appraisal contingency. So how do we deal with that? Well, a couple of things on the appraisal. It depends on your buyer and their unique situation and how bad they want the home. Okay, these are not going to be strategies that are going to help with our buyers that only have 3% or 5% down payment. But if you have a buyer doing 10% down or more, we need to do a strategic consultation with them about different ways they may be able to approach the situation. I'll give you an example, 2 examples. One, I had a buyer who had sold a home and they were buying a new home and doing a big down payment. They were downsizing. They had a $200,000 down payment on a $500,000 home. Guys, they don't need an appraisal contingency. It doesn't matter what that home appraises for. They can borrow $300,000 on a $500,000 home, even if it only appraises for $350,000. Certainly, if it appraises for $400,000, they can get that loan with no mortgage insurance, same interest rate. The appraised value does not impact them in any way. It's simply a check the box for the lender. Some of you will also realize that that buyer might be more likely to qualify for an appraisal waiver, where Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will look at the address, look at that big down payment, and if they have data on either that home from prior appraisals, either refinances or purchases, or other homes nearby on the neighborhood, Fannie or Freddie might say, hey, yeah, we believe that value, we believe that $500,000, and we will waive the need for an appraisal. That saves our buyer the $500,000 cost of the appraisal, and of course saves us the risk of an appraisal coming in low. But my main point there is folks with a very large down payment, certainly 30% or more, who cares what it appraises for? It's a check the box for the lender and does not impact their loan. These buyers have an advantage. They can waive the contingency because they don't need it. Does that make sense? The next thing is buyers who have not that huge a down payment, but more than the minimum. So think about a buyer who's doing a 90% loan, okay? I can lend them 95% at the same interest rate, and the only difference is the cost of the mortgage insurance. So the way we calculate that loan to value is we take the amount we're lending them and we divide it by the lower of the sales price or the appraised value. So if the home appraises a little bit lower, a home that might have been a 90% loan because they're doing 10% down, once we do the math with the appraised value, now it might be a 94% loan. The buyer's bringing the same amount of cash to the transaction. I'm lending them the same amount. The math just means it's a higher loan to value. So the buyer has a couple of options. They can bring additional down payment funds so that they bring it back down to a 90% loan, or, and this is what a lot of people don't know, we cannot bring any extra money to closing, keep the same loan, same interest rate, and simply increase the cost of the mortgage insurance slightly because now it's a 94% instead of a 90%, and still close that loan. That means for many of our buyers, they can afford to waive the waive the appraisal contingency and have that mortgage insurance option as their tool in their toolbox to allow them to not have to have a protection for the appraisal. In some cases, guys, the difference in their monthly payment is $18 a month, as an example. So here's what we need to do. You need to get your buyers to call me so we can have a strategy session that is specific to them, how badly they want to get into a home, their tolerance for risk. Guys, I don't push this on anybody. I present the options, and eventually when they find that home that they have to have, they will be thrilled to know those options are there so I can help you help them win that home. Bottom line, we've got some solutions that can help you with this appraisal waiver situation going on in Atlanta, and I'd love to chat with your buyers about how we can help them win.